On this edition of Kababayan Today, news anchor and former Kapamilya host Cher Calvin joins us to talk about receiving television's highest honor, an Emmy. Plus, let's get to know 60s Philippine matinee idol and father of Cher, Cher Calvin. That's all next on Kababayan Today.
Hello everyone! Welcome to Kababayan Today. Ako po si G. Tanji. And now, my very dear friend, our first guest for today is joining us. Cher Calvin anchors KTLA's award-winning 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. nightly newscasts. Before her current role, Cher co-anchored the weekend evening news as well as KTLA's morning show, where she won an Emmy in 2005. But just last year, Cher picked up her second Emmy win for the breaking news on the terrible tragedy in Newtown, Connecticut. This year marks her first individual win for her third Emmy for her work on KTLA's Season of Sharing, Help for the Philippines, a telethon that she spearheaded to raise funds for the victims of the tragic Haiyan typhoon. She is what makes us so proud to be a kababayan. Walang iba kundi ang matalik kong kaibigan na hindi lang maganda, napakatalino pa. She is the epitome of beauty and brains, a Filipino woman of substance. Let's welcome her today on Kababayan Today, no other than Cher Calvin!
Thank you so much, G. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful introduction, and congratulations on Kababayan Today. What a nice honor to be here and guesting with you on your show.
Yes! Oh, I'm so excited that you're here.
Exciting.
I know!
I know, and you're back.
Yes, I'm back. I'm definitely back, and I'm so glad that you're on the show. When was the last time you were on Kababayan Today? It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a few years. I was here with Janelle, and that was a wonderful experience. And I believe that my dad was on here with me as well. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get to talk to Tita Roger later.
Great.
But for now, let's talk about growing up. Where were you born?
I was born and raised in New York City.
Pero magaling ka magtagalog.
Bakit? Hindi masyado.
Oh, di ba?
It's balagtot, right? That's what they say.
It's balagtot, pero magaling ka magtagalog.
I can understand. No, I can speak when it comes down to it. I'm right. I lived there for 5 years.
So when did you decide to move back to the Philippines?
You know, it was in 1997 Christmas, going into 98, that I was there on a vacation. And I really wanted to be, you know, on television, doing the news, and really trying to make a break, you know, find that break where I would get that chance on air. And at the time, GMA7 gave me that. It was 1 minute a day. It was a news update, but it was still a chance to practice to be on camera.
This has always been your dream to be on camera, right?
It certainly was, and it certainly was a dream to, you know, do the news. And so I'm very lucky. I feel very blessed that the passion that I have for what I do is something that I'm able to do on a daily basis.
When you moved back to the Philippines, did you get culture shocked?
Of course.
Talk to us about that.
I think that being born and raised in New York, the way that New Yorkers are in general, even here in LA, you kind of have to tone it down a little bit, right?
Right? So, I get that because I know you.
And that's
personally.
here in LA, right? So, you know, you're toning it down for LA. When you move to the Philippines, you got to tone it down 20 notches, you know? And I just didn't know that that's how, that there was a certain kind of way that women should be. You know, and I think that in New York, you're fighting so hard to, you know, it's such a grind that this kind of femininity disappears, you know, and you become very aggressive.
Yeah.
And I think that when I moved to the Philippines, what was, even though it was a culture shock, what ended up happening was that my friends became very aggressive. The Filipinos, my Filipina friends, became more aggressive, and I think I became a little bit less. You know, potent, if you would, not just too aggressive, I think is the thing.
I think I agree with you, because even when I moved back to the Philippines, it was, you're not very encouraged to be outspoken.
Right.
You know, especially as a Filipino woman, there's still this idea na dapat ang Pilipina mahinhin,
Right.
tahimik, hindi masyadong madaldal, di ba? And you and I both know that's not going to happen with us,
I
right?
know, right. And it's funny because you have to also adapt to that situation and know that you can't always be full throttle all the time.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
And that's, I think, what was a beautiful thing about coming into that culture shock, if you will, and also into the culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to share with all the viewers that back in the day, in the 90s, in a club somewhere in Manila, okay, and I'm not going to tell you where, Cher and I sat down and seriously, face-to-face, looked at each other, sharing dreams that one day, you know, we would come to America, and guess what?
It was the Polo Club, right? Yeah. Manila Polo Club, right?
We're not going to tell them where, but...
Yeah. We were sharing our dreams, and this is it. We said that we wanted to come back to the States and be on TV and doing our thing.
And now you've got 3 Emmys, and I'm so proud of you. I can only
Ooh.
dream one day to
Well,
get an Emmy.
It's not far away.
So,
it's not far away.
Rub
It's not
that
far
off
away.
on
It's
me,
not
girl.
far away. Yeah, it's not far. You're very talented, so it's not far away.
So how does it feel? You are a 3-time Emmy winner.
Ooh.
One of the few Filipinos that can say that.
It's just, I mean, it just happened. So it's just kind of, I think I'm still a little bit in shock. That it happened, and at the same time, just so thankful it did, because it really was something that was a very strong passion of mine as well as the people that were involved. We just felt that when we saw the devastation in Tacloban, that we had to do something. Yeah. And it was so important that we did something to raise money and did something to highlight, you know, how important it was that people were going to get help from us.
Yes.
And, you know, every little bit would count. And what's so beautiful about Kababayan Today, and also what we did on that show, was that we were able to highlight the different people in the community that have ties to the Philippines.
Yes.
And at the same time to Tacloban. I mean, we had people whose families were missing.
Yeah.
And it was
well,
just,
you know what? I want to talk more
Yeah.
about what the work that you did there when we return right here on Kababayan Today. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Okay.